Everyone. They say first impressions matter when you meet someone. But is that impression just about looks or how they talk? No. I believe a person's character is their true fragrance. Someone with a great character radiates a warmth that feels like a sweet scent just by being near them. On the other hand, someone with a rotten character, they give off a stench worse than spoiled fish, making you want to steer clear. Today, we're diving into how character shapes the connections between people and how its fragrance seeps into our lives. This isn't just a metaphor, it's the real story of our everyday lives. Ready? Let's get started. Think about it. Don't you know someone like this? A person who always smiles, speaks kindly, and seems to exude care for others. My friend Min Seo is exactly that kind of person. At work, she's always looking out for her colleagues, listening patiently when someone's struggling. Once, after a big project failed and everyone was down, Min Seo quietly handed out coffees and said, "You all worked hard. We'll do better next time." That one sentence lifted the whole team's spirits. Being around Min Seo feels like catching a whiff of a pleasant fragrance, like stepping into a field of lilacs in spring. That's the power of character. People like Min Seo light up their surroundings just by being themselves. On the flip side, what about those with poor character? You've felt it, right? That suffocating vibe when you're near them. I had a former colleague, Seongmin, who was like that. He was always self-centered, stealing credit for others' work or bad-mouthing people behind their backs. Once during a team meeting, he claimed my idea as his own, and I was furious. But what was worse was the negative energy he spread. When Seongmin walked into a room, the air turned cold. It was like the stench of rotten fish. Everyone felt uneasy and tried to avoid him. Eventually, he became isolated from the team. That's when I realized no matter how skilled someone is, if their character stinks, they can't stay close to others for long. What is character really? It's not just about surface level politeness or manners. True character comes from deep within sincere kindness, care for others, and the humility to reflect on yourself. I remember something I saw on the subway once. During a busy morning commute, an elderly woman was struggling up the stairs with heavy bags. A young guy, maybe in his early 20s, rushed over to carry them for her. The woman thanked him repeatedly, and he just smiled, saying, "It's no big deal." Seeing that warmed my heart. That young man's actions, that was the fragrance of character, something money or status can't buy. It was a warmth that made everyone around him smile. But people with bad character, they're tough to be around. I saw something at a local mart once. A customer was yelling at the cashier, "Why are you so slow? Hurry up." The cashier, flustered, must have made a small mistake, but the customer kept shouting. Everyone nearby frowned. That customer's voice and attitude carried a stench worse than spoiled fish. The cashier apologized with her head down, her eyes misty. I thought to myself, no matter how much money or status you have, if your character is lacking, you lose people's hearts. Why does character matter? Because it shapes the relationships in our lives. Think about it. At work, with friends, or in family, what we remember most is how someone made us feel. My mom always told me, people aren't judged by money or fame. It's about how much warmth you give others. That's what defines you. She's right. A person with good character spreads happiness just by being there. But someone with poor character, no matter how polished they seem, ends up pushing people away. Now, good character doesn't mean being perfect. We all make mistakes or act selfishly sometimes. What matters is owning those mistakes and trying to grow. A friend once hurt me with a careless comment. Later, he came to me and said, "I spoke without thinking. I'm really sorry." That apology made me trust him even more. That's character, acknowledging your wrongs and taking a step toward others. That's the kind of person who carries a good fragrance. But why are some people's characters so bad? I think it's because they either love themselves too much or not enough. Self-centered people don't have room to care for others, while those with low self-esteem tear others down to feel better. A senior once told me, "People with bad character hurt themselves the most. When you hurt others, it comes back to you." He was right. Poor character doesn't just harm those around you, it makes you unhappy too. Our world is filled with people giving off all kinds of fragrances. Some are like lavender, soft and warm. Others are like a foul stench. But here's the thing, that fragrance isn't fixed. With a little effort every day, we can cultivate a better scent. A kind word, a small act of help, owning up to our mistakes. These little actions add up to make us people with a beautiful fragrance. Let me share one last story. There's an elderly person in my neighborhood over 70 who picks up trash in the park every morning. When I asked why, they said, if I do this, the neighborhood's cleaner and someone might smile. That simple heart, that's the fragrance of character. Being near them felt like breathing in something truly good. What fragrance do you want to carry? And right now, what kind of scents do the people around you give off? Today, try sharing a good fragrance with someone. A smile, a kind word, that's where it starts. Your character can make the world a little more beautiful. So what's your fragrance? Spread it freely and live brightly.